In this video, we are going to be talking all about the sacral chakra. This is the chakra that governs our creativity and passion, and it's important to have this chakra balanced if we want to express ourselves in the world. My name is Catherine. I'm an energy healer, spiritual coach, and nurse practitioner. If you need personalized coaching or an energy healing by yours truly, then you can go to my website at catherineglassman.com, or you can email me at hello@catherineglassman.com. Please keep in mind that all of this information is channeled through meditation. So if it resonates with you, then great. And if not, then that's okay too. So what is the sacral chakra? The sacral chakra resides in the lower abdomen or umbilical area. It is represented by the color orange, and the Sanskrit name for it is Swadhisthana. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, but this roughly translates to the dwelling place of the self. It is visually represented as a 6-petaled flower. When I meditated on this particular chakra, the one word that I got was passion. This is the chakra that governs your deepest desires that almost pour out of you instinctively. This is why sexuality is represented by this chakra. This is the part of you that if you were to take away all of the barriers, all of the judgments, all of the restrictions, and just express your human as freely as it could be, then this would be the chakra that would be activated. This is the chakra that's activated when you are in a flow state during a creative process of some sort. What's interesting is that in order for this chakra to be fully activated and flowing, the root chakra must be balanced first, because you can't express yourself to your fullest potential if you don't feel like you have a safe container in order to do so. So you have to step out of survival mode in order to get into a creative mode. When I was meditating, I was trying to get visuals of what the sacral chakra would kind of look like or what it's in charge of. And I kept getting people that would be laughing hysterically or maybe even yelling. And when they would laugh hard or yell loudly, what is activated is the abdomen. And so if you laugh really hard for a while, like your stomach, your abdomen will hurt, right? Or if you're yelling or screaming, you'll eventually just blow out so much air and your stomach will tighten. Somehow this is related to the sacral chakra, since the sacral chakra is in your abdomen. And so when you're trying to express your passions, you do it in a creative manner. So if you want to express some sort of idea that you have, then you will either put it on paper, or you will create some sort of project, or you'll paint, or you'll write a song, or you'll sing a song. This is how your sacral chakra is expressed. And what's funny is that the sacral chakra is associated with the reproductive organs, but it's specifically with the reproductive organs that produce hormones. So it would be like the ovaries and the testicles and the uterus, which actually makes complete sense because it's these organs that are used to reproduce and to actually create life. And when you create a life, you are actually doing it through a passionate act. So I thought that was interesting. So what does a balanced chakra look like? Someone with a balanced sacral chakra is able to express themselves passionately and creatively without any feelings of guilt or shame. These people can just easily sing or dance or just create art. They're able to have fun and just be silly, but it's also because they have balanced their root chakra so that they feel safe enough in order to do so. Those with a balanced sacral chakra are also able to express themselves sexually without feeling any guilt or shame about the act itself and also about their body. It's basically just the birthplace of creativity or any creative project or creative content. Now, of course, there are other chakras that are involved, like the throat chakra, to actually get it out into the world. But as far as the birthplace of the creative project resides in the sacral chakra. Creative projects that are coupled with passion, that is. Because you can have creative ideas or creative projects that come from the third eye, but that will be for a different video. What does an imbalanced sacral chakra look like? This would look like someone who does not use their creativity at all. They don't make the time to sing or dance or paint or to do any creative project. It's like an all work and no play kind of energy. This can sometimes be because they just don't feel like it's a good use of their time. And this often will be rooted again in having an imbalanced root chakra. Because if you feel like it's just not worth your time, then it's probably stemming from not feeling secure, that is maybe financially secure. But on the flip side, an imbalance can also look like being too creative all the time or just giving into your passions all the time. But again, this could be potentially a response from having an imbalanced root chakra because it could potentially be a form of escape. Another imbalance would be hypersexuality. There could be a number of reasons why someone may be hypersexual. One reason can be a form of escapism, so again, an imbalanced root chakra. Another could be as a self-defense mechanism or a response to potentially being violated in a sexual way. So it's pretty common for people who have been sexually assaulted to become hypersexual later on in life. And this could be a way of trying to empower yourself by taking control back, when in actuality, and obviously this is just from my channelings and my opinion, so I don't know everything, but from what I've seen, this really could just be a response, again, of trying to find some sort of safety within your own body. So it just goes back to the root chakra. When you have a balanced sacral chakra, you're able to express yourself sexually, but in a very free and clean way. But if your sacral chakra is imbalanced and you are hypersexualized as a result, then this could be an attempt of trying to get something out of it or trying to get some sort of validation or some sort of need met, rather than it just being a free expression from your own will. Of course, that's just what I've channeled. I'm not gonna know everything. But this all the more emphasizes the importance of balancing your root chakra first and foremost. But on the other side of that coin, another sign of an imbalanced sacral chakra would be a lack of sexual desire and passion. This could always be a hormonal issue coming from like a medical or physical standpoint, but these hormones are also secreted by the reproductive organs. So if this is happening, of course, you just want to explore every avenue. You want to explore the hormone secretion and things like that, but you also want to explore the spiritual side of things like your sacral chakra. There could be a suppression from the sacral chakra in this regard due to past traumas, feelings of guilt, or shame. This is definitely evident when someone feels like sex is a dirty or bad thing to do. This is another self-defense mechanism, but instead of being hypersexualized, you're just suppressing it entirely. So how do we balance the sacral chakra? Well, you have to get to the root cause of why that chakra is out of balance. And it's not a coincidence that I use the word root, because the root chakra probably has to be explored. Is there a possibility that you just don't feel safe and secure enough within your own body to express yourself creatively? Do you not feel like you're having all of your human and physical needs met? And because you don't have those met, you're spending more time trying to get those needs met and less time being creative? Are you all work and no play because you feel like you don't have any other choice but to work all the time, so you can't really play? If that's the case, then the best thing to do would be to unload some of those burdens in any way that you can so that you can make space for your creativity. So if you are struggling with money or trying to pay rent, then maybe by inviting a roommate to live with you can help with that. Or maybe reducing your lifestyle. I know I suffer from lifestyle inflation sometimes, and sometimes I just need to remind myself to just back off on the shopping. If you are hypersexualized or have an under-sexualized drive, then the reasons for this just need to be explored, because it's really important to understand why that happened so that you can just reverse engineer it. Is it possible that you are trying to gain control as a response of not feeling in control previously? Do you ultimately not feel safe, and so you use hypersexuality as a way of kind of empowering yourself? I mean, who knows? Obviously, it's going to be very individualized, but it definitely has to be explored and it needs to be healed. Once you fully have understood and balanced your sacral chakra along with your root chakra, then the next thing to do would be to just create time and space for creativity and passion to flow. So for me, creating a YouTube channel and creating YouTube videos is my outlet of creativity. Talking about spirituality and spiritual awakenings is just an actual passion of mine. So it really is, it brings me a lot of joy to do this. But I also actually have an unfinished canvas over here that I need to work on, so I need to make some time for that. But I don't schedule it, but I definitely will actively and consciously thinking about when's the last time I've gotten up and danced around and sang a song. And if it's been a while, then I will just make myself do it. And even though I feel silly at the time, when I'm done, I feel so good. It's very cathartic. Sometimes I can get in a space of all work and no play, but this for me will stem from like a starseed standpoint of not feeling like I'm doing enough to save the world, because we all know that I'm not going to single-handedly do it. And so, but I have to remember that part of my experience on this planet is to also be human and to also enjoy it. So I do struggle with some of these things as well. And just like having to carve out time for your creative projects, you really should carve out time to be passionate with your partner. And if you don't have a partner, then you can always be passionate with yourself. And I think there's a common misconception that one must be in this passionate energy or turned on state in order for them to carry out some sort of sexual act, when really you have to create the energy and create the space to harness that energy and to really nurture it for that space and time. Obviously, this has to be a team effort from you and your partner, but if you are the one that is trying to work on your sacral chakra and trying to express yourself in a sexual manner, then you'll want to create the environment in order to do so. Now, I do want to make a side note in regards to pornography. I know a lot of people will have the idea of using pornography to create a passionate environment. But when I channeled on this information, they basically advised against it. The reason why is because pornography stimulates the release of dopamine, whereas the act of making love with someone releases oxytocin. These are two different hormones that act and make you feel very differently. And to better explain it, I guess, pornography, it is a very physical and superficial way of expressing the sexual act. And with the release of dopamine, dopamine ends up making you feel like a high, a short-lived high, and not a very clean one. But when you're expressing yourself sexually with someone that you truly care about, this comes from a much deeper and spiritual place of expression. This would explain the release of oxytocin because they call it the love hormone. Not to mention, there is plenty of science to back up the fact that a lot of pornographic actors have experienced sexual assault at an earlier point in their life. So this would go again with the theory of hypersexuality as a defense mechanism and result from a sexual assault previously. And so if you're watching pornography, then you are watching the result of that potentially, maybe not all the time, but it's definitely possible. And so if anything, you're actually bringing in more energy of an imbalanced chakra into your life by watching that, when really you're just trying to balance the sacral chakra. Two people expressing themselves to one another sexually is actually a very sacred ritual. It is highly spiritual. And by bringing pornography into such a beautiful and sacred act, it really can be a form of blasphemy. And I think that might be the reason why when people watch porn, there's a part of them that feels a little dirty or guilty afterwards. But again, this is just my opinion based on my meditations. So, take it or leave it. But other simple things you can do is you can wear the color orange. You can even eat an orange. You can pretty much eat anything that is naturally colored orange. And for some reason, citrus fruits help with the sacral chakra as well. Some crystals you can use are tiger's eye, carnelian, orange calcite, and goldstone. And the affirmation for this chakra is, I feel safe to express myself creatively and passionately. But with that being said, I hope you liked the video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Consider subscribing, and I will see you next time. Bye.